Welcome to the Catalyst Podcast with Naman Arinze Darlington, where we run Tomorrow is Here series, diving deep into the transformative journey of Enugu State under the visionary leadership of Governor Peter Mbah. Here we discuss projects, ideas that are shaping Enugu State into an innovative hub. At the Catalyst Podcast, we discuss with clarity, authenticity, and purpose. So join us as we amplify the vision of a new Enugu State. One where opportunity thrives, transparency reigns, and the future is now. I'm your host, Naman Arinze Darlington. This is Tomorrow is Here series on the Catalyst Podcast. Welcome on board. Welcome to the Catalyst. Here where we discuss about the developments that is happening in Enugu State and across Nigeria, particularly under the leadership of Governor Peter Mbah, who is the governor of Enugu State. Here with me today, I have Dr. Ben Nwoye, the former APC chairman of Enugu State, a political dinosaur and a political colossus who understand politics and leadership. Dr. Ben Nwoye, welcome to the Catalyst.
Darlington, thank you for having me. I'm glad to be here.
It's a pleasure having you, Dr. Ben. So, Dr. Ben, how's life been since after your leadership and as the chairman of APC of Enugu State?
Darlington, I'm a businessman in politics.
Yeah.
I'm not a professional politician, so I've since gone back to my business, both in the South and in Abuja. So we've continued life. However, my interest is grassroots, in light of what is happening in Enugu. And I've come back to help to get Enugu State APC, the progressives, back on track. And I've also come back to help to redirect some political happenings in Enugu State and ensure that the agenda of His Excellency, whichever way I can assist to make it happen.
Okay, fantastic. So when you talk about coming back to Enugu State to help to redirect the let's say where APC should be, directing the narrative of APC to a brighter light. Dr. Ben, who is the leader of APC in Enugu State, if I may ask you? Because
the term leadership, political leadership, is a norm, is a word they use loosely. You have those who are leading because they are appointee.
Yeah.
If you are appointed into an office, you're a leader. You have those who are leading because they're elected. Unfortunately, in Enugu State, APC, nobody's elected. Nobody has ever been elected into one, except, obviously, when I was elected as a state party chairman.
Yeah.
I was elected twice in a Congress. Okay? Then you could also be a leader because you have money. You have funding a party. People call you leader. It is the term leadership or leader, political leader, was developed in the Action Congress of Nigeria in the days of Asiwaju, when he's the national leader.
Yeah.
So that word has since been overused and misused. But in our constitution of APC, there is no such thing as a position called leader. And then you can also become a leader by self-imposition. You think that you are entitled and you call yourself leader and you say you are the leader. So there's no such thing. But anyone can follow you. You hear the term, follow your leader, and all that. But it is not grounded either in law or in the actual fact. Sometimes who is feeding you, you call them a leader. But
okay, because why I'm asking is that, as 2027 comes close, we have begun to see massive endorsement from the APC wing, endorsement of for Governor Peter Mbah to continue his sterling leadership for the people of Enugu State. So, and you are championing it. I've seen massive support you are giving to Governor Peter Mbah. What's kicking you up to that?
Darlington, you recall that in 2022, some of you came to my house. Yeah. I have some youths that wanted me to run for governor under APC. You recall that?
Yes,
people contributed money for me, even from outside the country and inside the country. And at some point, you recall that I actually called the contributors and I gave them back their money. And I announced I was not going to run.
Yeah.
They were giving me money to pay the 50 million that was required for APC ticket.
Yeah.
I got more than 50 million. I got cash from a lot of people, and I paid them all their money back. And the biggest one was a kid who is a motorcycle rider who sent 5,000 naira for me to my account to buy a form. I never forget that kid from Nsukka local government. So, but what triggers that is when I met Peter, who is now the Governor Peter Mbah. I know him before this time, okay? And he showed me his blueprints. He showed me what he had. He was ready. And we discussed.
Yeah.
And at that same time, I had met with Uche Nnaji, who's now the Minister of Innovation, Science and Technology. And Uche Nnaji came to my house, in my country home in Amori. And I hosted him. He said he's still in PDP, but he wants to register to be a member of APC. Okay? And at that time, registration had gone. We have stopped registration. But he said he doesn't want anybody to know that he wants to join APC.
So you registered Uche Nnaji?
Yes, I'm getting to that point in my village, my humble home in Amori. So I went into just a small parlor that is about the size of this our studio, and in my inner parlor, I hosted him with Charles. Charles is dead now. Ojima, you know Ojima.
Yes.
The guy is late now, former chairman of Enugu State. He's the one that brought him. Ojima is a friend of my brother, the king, the king of my kingdom. With Sonny Umabi. Sonny Umabi is his boy. And that time he was my chief of staff. He's still alive. Of course, Uche Nnaji is alive. He would not have run to be a governor if not for the registration. I asked Uche Nnaji, you want to be a member? What do you say? He wants to be the governor. In fact, he says it's already been predetermined. He's going to be the governor of Enugu State. I said, okay. So what do I do? He said, I had asked Ward 3, Abugo Ward 3, to bring their register. At that time, registration had closed. And registration is done not in ward by ward, but in unit by unit. Abugo Ward 3, there are units, about 15 or 16 polling units. All the registers were there. I asked Uche, where do you vote? This Uche Nnaji did not have, as of 2022, no voters card in Enugu. None. As of 2022. So he doesn't even know where he voted. So I just randomly picked one of those and registered him. These are not propaganda. These are facts. I asked for his, passport size photograph. He didn't have one. So I had to give it to Sonny. Sonny is popularly known as Sonny Umabi.
Yeah.
So he held it for him. With that, he said it has already been decided he's going to be the governor. Not he's going to be a candidate, he's going to be a governor. Then he left. So as the things were approaching, I saw there was a grand conspiracy. Someone, I guess, told him I was going to run to be a governor. He joined with some outside forces, and they started the grand parade of bringing in people who were not members of APC to take over from me. The Ugabala, that's how Ugabala emerged without a Congress. I never handed over to Ugabala. They bribed the then national officers of the party. They are now all kicked out of the system now. The bribe takers are now gone. So at the end of the day, the time was for election. Uche Nnaji had no manifesto. I know the professor that kicked together what he called a manifesto, banded it up together for him to read. He could not launch it. He could not read it. I had a one-on-one with him, Peter Mbah. He's a businessman also, like myself. He came here. He was clear in what he wanted to do.
Uche Nnaji could not read.
He couldn't read it. When they gave it to him, because I know this guy, a couple of guys that banded up to him, he couldn't stand. When he called the press, he was fidgeting. He couldn't get this stuff done. And people like you, the media people, were there and said, what he shared a piece of this stuff to you guys. And then this is a guy who wants to govern a state that has well over 30 high institutions. We are bright people here. You know, you have to be able to sell your market, the product. What are you going to offer to Enugu citizens? One of the guys that put this thing together is now in charge of one of his parastatals. Okay?
Yeah.
And he's having issues there because he's not a scientist as what was required by the law. You have someone who is not a scientist manning a place that is reserved for scientists. That's the raw material people.
So is that why you called him sleeping minister?
No, we will get there. We'll get to that point. I'm not the one that called him a sleeping minister. You're jumping too fast, okay? This is, you can take it up that when you saw what Peter had, I think it was September 22nd, 2022, I went in and I endorsed Peter Mbah. It was all there on the media. I was on APC regalia. I was still a chairman. I have grown beyond political partisanship. At that point, I was still a friend of the then candidate Shettima, who is now the vice president of this country. And the same Mucha and his people sent a message to our then distinguished Senator Shettima, who was a candidate, and said that I was now campaigning, I've joined PDP. I done on APC regalia, and they assured you eight figure their heart. So these are facts. At Okpara Square, I spoke to thousands of people, and I was direct and I was clear about what I have seen, that this man is ready. Peter came with a package, and the package, we have to see it happen. That I know the other ones. It's not just Uche. I know Nweke Jr., Frank Nweke Jr. He has a good package too, but this one is a better package. Okay? And despite my party, my own gubernatorial candidate didn't have a package. He just came with an assumption, which he told me in my small inner chamber, that is already settled and done deal. Vote or not, he was going to win. He was pointing to some other state where somebody came forth and then became the governor of the state. That was this was banking on. It doesn't happen in Enugu State. We are different set of people. We are Igbos, but our sub-Igbo group is different. So I was bold and I spoke up. He sent the video to Shettima. If you recall, in that particular engagement, I spoke in my Wawa dialect at first, and then I spoke in the English language. So he sent the Wawa dialect portion to him. At the end of the day, Shettima started calling me, sending me message. What are you doing? I was able to straighten it out to him. And they carried that propaganda there. Say, oh, this guy went up to this. Oh, that's why he didn't get an appointment. I don't need an appointment. I have an appointment. God gave me so much appointment that I have well over 200 staff working for me.
It's not coincidence that the Shettima, the vice president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, saw Peter Mbah and also gave so much commendation.
I'm coming to that point. When they were doing this, remember, I saw a blueprint. Peter has not started working. Then when Peter won and Peter started working, the narrative changed. My relationship with the Northerners have not changed. It didn't affect anything. I can't take anyhow because of, I'm fluid. I travel a lot. I do all these things. I can't take certain responsibility. You understand? So at the end of the day, we saw Enugu State begin to light up. We saw dead and moribund parastatals begin to come up. We saw roads with potholes scraped and repaved. We saw more water begin to rush in people's homes. It didn't get everywhere, but we saw movement. In our own eyes, we saw healthcare institutions begin to get revitalized. We saw a dead and forgotten presidential hotel begin to pull up. We saw years of abandoned project, ICC, lit up. When you see this thing going on, guess what happened? The next thing, Vice President Shettima came here. They couldn't believe it. I was out of the country then. They invited me to, because my friend, I couldn't attend. He spoke well. At this point, he's no longer partisan. He saw what was happening. Just this year, on the 4th of January, the president showed up. And guess what he said? Ashwaji told us, Enugu people support Peter Mbah. I don't care what party he said, support him. Okay? So, when they see these things happening, in the meantime, the PDP was going down as a political party. You can't run as you can't run as a candidate without a political party. So what had happened was, as PDP was going down, at one point you recall that I didn't like what was going on. Because I've complained to the Governor Ganduje about the state of Enugu State APC. He refused to hearken to it. Eventually, Governor Ganduje was thrown out of his seat as a national chairman. At the time, I was the chief of staff to the deputy national chairman North, His Excellency Ali Daluri, Buka Daluri. But I said, I'm not settled with this. I left the party. And I did my homework. Then Governor Ganduje was thrown out of the party. So once I know he has been thrown out, and a new and progressive-minded, well-educated and articulated chairman came in, I came back. Okay, I came back and I started the crusade of saying that Governor Peter Mbah needs to become part of the progressives. For many reasons. And so you go back to the sleeping minister. At the time, a man who's given a job of being a minister of innovation, science, and technology. This is where the world is going. Okay? The United States have more oil than Nigeria. But guess what? They don't drill. They're not living on oil. They live on technology. This man has become a social media minister. He can point out one project, one innovation. We are not talking about point out in the social media, as they would say, the audio project. We are saying point out the project that you are running. He talked about launching satellites. Which satellite? Where is it? All the stuff that is going on now. He is absent-minded. I'm not going to call him a sleeping minister. He was called a sleeping minister. But some band of elite journalists who took their time. We have 48 ministers, and they looked at their record and what they've been doing for the past 2 years plus. At the end of the day, they came up with a result. Unfortunately, Enugu people, for what is what, this is this day newspaper. It's not Ben Nwoye. Okay? This day newspaper reported that the Minister of Innovation, Science and Technology is a sleeping minister. All I have to do is to tell the truth. You can Google it. Look it up. If you look it up, I didn't originate it, and I'm not claiming the right to it. And when you look at his ministry and what he has done, he's indeed sleeping. This man has gone from sleeping to going into comatose. This is where he found himself. Otherwise, think about this. Enugu State, and I match everything I say in my word with verifiable facts. Enugu State now has a commissioner of innovation, science, and technology. Under, by the way, Dr. Peter Mbah. He picked a young, bright man who is an engineer, who is a well-rounded guy, who is doing very well. Engineer Dr. Lawrence Eze. I made him, in fact, first he was a minister for commissioner for lands. Then he removed him and put him into the tech area. Some people thought it was a demotion, but land is where money is. But they didn't know the mindset of this guy called Peter Mbah. He's trying to put the right, the round peg. Thank you. He did that. Guess what? Within 2 years, or less than 2 years, the tech industry started coming into Enugu. Lawrence changed the scope and narrative. And then they hosted the largest tech festival in this part of the hemisphere. They hosted it here in Enugu. But guess what? Your minister, your sleeping minister of science and industry, or whatever, science and technology, was found sleeping in his office in Abuja. He didn't come to Enugu.
So the commissioner for science and tech in Enugu State is more equipped and more cerebral than the Utenaj.
They are not to be compared. If you're comparing, it's not even apple and orange. They both look rounded in shape.
Dr. Benway, when we have people like Uchenaji who have been named the sleeping minister, some newspaper I had called him the ghost minister. How do we see such kind of people? Is there people that we see someone like Uchenaji and say that we are welcoming you to Enugu State to become the governor of Enugu State? Can you compare and contrast between like Governor Mbah and Uchenaji?
You can't really compare and contrast. They are not on the same track. Okay? It's like if you see a little pigeon running around, making noise, and then you look at an ostrich. You ever seen an ostrich?
Yeah.
And then you ask me to compare and contrast an ostrich and a pigeon. Or a little dove. Come on. There's no comparison. But because guess what? You can pretend. Even the vulture can also pretend to be an ostrich. And put up a walk. Can puff up the back and stretch up the neck. But a vulture can never be compared to an ostrich. If you see an ostrich movement, it's majestic and sarcastic. So you have this guy, he leaves his post, he comes to Enugu, he goes to OP and claims he's receiving people. Who is he receiving in OP in Suka? Absolutely obscured politician. That wasn't enough. He goes to the park, to the motor park in Igbeze North, okay?
Yeah.
And he hosts some reception. Who is he receiving in the Igbeze North motor park? A former deputy local government chairman of Igbeze North. And so he threw a party. Okay?
Yeah.
A former, one time. Absolutely an unknown politician who will be unable to move his own inner family to vote for him. This is the man that he put up a stage for.
In the last election, I don't think he had. I don't know if he has.
I'll give you the number. I'll give you the number. Okay. These are the reason. By the way, this is my core reason. I am the Asiwaju supporter. You know that.
Yeah.
We have been together from ACN. I funded and I helped funded ACN USA, ACUSA to ACN USA with Senator Chris Ngige. He was not a senator then when we met in Washington, D.C. These are facts. These are on record. Okay? So it is when we were growing APC in 2014. Give you the number. In 2014, with all the story about, 2015, Boko Haram, this and that, under Buhari, I just came in. We did all we could. We gave APC a little bit over 15,000 votes. It's small. But guess what? Comparable to Anambra State. We're about at par. Anambra was about 16, 17,000 with all their population. We didn't give on seats. It's tough. APC then was a tough sell. Okay? We continued. I was able to recruit people. By 2019, we gave APC, the same Buhari, we gave him 56,000 votes. You can check your INEC portal. Then fast forward, by 2023 election, with Uchenaji's noise, his whistle and his gamble and his bell and all that, guess what? They gave Asiwaju 4,772 votes. And I called it the Project 4772. That is the worst of the record in the entire nation, 36 states plus Abuja. Enugu State came first from behind. So how do you have a man who on his own, he ran as a governor when Peter Mbah was a candidate, Peter Mbah, not a governor, candidate. All they have is just blueprints, nothing on ground to show. Guess what? He came this time fourth. And his record, you can go and check, go and verify it, according to the obedient. He got approximately 14,200 and maybe 23 votes. 14,000. Enugu State has 17 local government. Yeah. So he's short of 1,000 per local government. I got more vote than this man when I ran under the old ACN, the defunct ACN, as a senate. Enugu is 6 local government. In my own local government, where he's also hails from, we have to be talking about facts,
yes, not
fiction. He got approximately 1,302 12 votes. Nkanu West. Nkanu West is a 14-ward local government. That is short of 100 votes per ward. You know, we're not stupid people. We need to check the maths. You understand? So these things are all verifiable. Check the INEC portal.
So that is why I think just few days I saw the APC which you led. You were among those who were begging and pleading to Governor Mbah to come to APC. That is more valuable than Uche Naji, that you want him to come to APC. So what's behind that? Is it because of the failure of Uche Naji in the last election?
Let me tell you something. Enugu State has been undermined by external actors. We have a gentleman in Imo State controlling Enugu State political structure. It's insulting. The average Enugu indigene, known as Wawa people, we are really people who believe in ourselves. It's insulting when your minister, his name was named, you placed his name from a guy from Imo State, sent his name to Abuja, and then he's made a minister without checking if he can do the job or not. And now, bright people like Enugu, we are now boasting of a sleeper, of a comatose gentleman who is not a minister. It's not funny. I'm highlighting it because we can do better. Guess what?
Yeah.
Very recently, the same man almost made somebody from his own state the VC of Nsukka. You know I teach. Okay? You know that.
Yes.
Now I teach at Institute and some other places. Okay? I teach governance. You shifted yourself from Imo State and you go to Enugu State and you made somebody. First was a pro-chancellor from Imo State. Then he went further to try to make an Imo State. I don't have issue with that. But if you're doing it to undermine the states, my own states, come on. I must react. He's the same man who interfered, who made Ugabala without any election. He made him the state chairman. He's the same man who's controlling every appointment. We have appointments that are open now. Ambassadorial has not been done. Plenty boards are out there. I have the list. And I've taken it up there. Governor Peter Mbah will not be able to play if he's not part of it. There are some empowerment that go through the party structure. You recall that I was a chairman for 8 years. I was the secretary of all the chairmen in this country for 8 years. I was also their spokesperson. So we know the dealings involved. You can't get certain things if you're an opposition state. Party is just a vehicle. At today, Enugu State is losing a lot. Governor Peter Mbah can do more if he belongs to the ruling party.
Thank you very much.
And I'll give you an example. When David Umahi was doing very, very well, Ebonyi used to be looked down upon until David Umahi became the governor. When he became governor, David Umahi was doing well, but he realized he could do better. People are saying that, Ebonyi is just a PDP state. Remember, they had the former SGF, the former Senate president. They had all these big names. Guess what? David Umahi left PDP and joined APC. Instantaneously, the Ebonyi state blossomed way beyond Enugu State. It's in terms of today, David Umahi is the minister for works. A lot of appointments going on to Ebonyi people, and it's controlled by Ebonyi people. When they thought that, they will not vote for APC, they said, guess what? Not true. Winfrey got elected, so also three senators. And almost all the House of Representatives, I think it was one, but that one later on joined APC.
Away from politics, how can you describe the Smart Green School of Governor Mbah? The 260 Smart Green School that is going across the most of them completed, across the 260 political world. How can you describe the transformation of education in Enugu State under Governor Mbah-led administration?
It is just simply incredible and indeed unimaginable. Okay, when he was laying the foundation, by the way, I congratulate Dr. Peter Mbah for the kickoff. What was yesterday? Yeah. He announced the kickoff of the new school system. It's incredible. The head starts. If you recall, if you see, they have actually changed the schooling system with that. What you are looking at is futuristic. Those who are thinking, is this sustainable? These are people who are bereaved of idea. Are you thinking about sustainability? You have to first start. If once we kick off and it starts, it is left for the people, the legacy he has left behind. He was not busy building legacy projects. He's doing what he believes will equalize the system. Education is the greatest equalizer. Any child can become anything once they're educated. While other people were busy, other governors building road, give us road, and building some massive monument and all that, he went into education. That was the first thing. 260 and 260 it was. Think about the education itself. Think about the teachers. I don't know if you have had time to go to any of the schools. The teachers themselves need to be educated, and they are going through education. I've had the opportunity as a teacher of governance in the Enugu State University of Science and Technology, at the graduate level, peace, conflict, and development study. I teach governance there. I had the opportunity to take my students, my graduate students, both PhD and MS students, to GTC. So it's not just smart school.
Yes.
I took them to GTC. Go there and see what is happening. Okay. So this man, I said it again, I will say it again rather, he has the Midas touch. He sees this thing from realism. He sees education from the point of practicality. We no longer have to talk about going to school just to be going to school. That's why we have high rate of unemployment. If you school and you have skill, you'll never be unemployed. That's why I'm never unemployed, and I've never gone to seek for employment, because you have skill. And so he's using it to say, okay, let's give these people skill. You see these guys talking about futuristic things, not just AI, beyond AI. Mechatronics, all these language that are not in our daily dictionary. You go home, I'm a product of two illiterate, mother, father illiterates. I'm like these kids. And all these kids, they will go home and we're talking about AI. They're talking about mechatronics. I mean, come on, what are you talking about? It's like I've given birth to some kind of alien child. It's happening here in Enugu. The last, the last tech festival.
Yeah.
Over 10,000 youths trooped into there, hungry to be unlocked. People wanted to devour these things. So it's beyond just school. We are preparing people that if you can't find a job here, you can find a job outside. And guess what? You don't even need to go to outside. Just like the Indians do. Just like the Asian country, the big tigers, they do. Why would Americans, they'll be sitting there, they hire people that will answer calls from outside, and they'll fix your tech from remote location. They can sit here and solve a problem in England, and they are paying them in top dollars. They're paying them in hard currency. If we can harness this, I think about 4 or 5, ambassadors, good American ambassadors to America, they were here, and they couldn't believe what they saw. They said that this is the biggest, not even the one they did in Kigali, Rwanda, was as big as this, Enugu State. Do you know, I give you a secret, we're having about 5 branded hotels rising in Enugu, almost together. And someone will sit out there and say, hey, why would
the Enugu Air,
Oh yeah, I've been on that one like 2-3 times.
So you have boarded Enugu.
Of course, unbelievable.
How was it?
Beautiful.
You saw it, that it was
beautiful. I travel a lot.
Yeah.
Okay. The most interesting part of Enugu Air is basically you can go, and I've done it, You can leave Enugu this morning. It's early, but you don't have to, you obstruct your sleep. It's 7:30. And 7:30 on the dot, they are gone. You get to Abuja between about you come out everything around 8:40, 8:45. If you have no check-in bag, you're off. You go to your meeting. And guess what? You can come back again after meeting and board Enugu Air and return back. Nobody knows that you've gone out.
So the governor said that before the end of the year, we are going to, the Enugu State is going to have more additional 6 aircraft adding to the Enugu Air. So how do you see an airline that just started not up to a year making this such kind of significant progress?
Darlington, you need to actually try to get a ticket from Enugu Air. You'll find out that it's scarce. I'm telling you that it took my people hours to get me a seat on one, because I'm going back and forth the same day. It's never happened. I get to Abuja, I had my meeting, and my meeting was a 12 o'clock meeting. I finished my meeting, took my lunch, back again to the airport. By 4:30, I was on board my flight again. Nobody knew I left town. My political enemies, they couldn't sleep because here I am again. Okay? And, this is what we do. Yeah. So, but guess what? The yearly tide is coming. And you see a report that the ticket from December will be about 377 naira one way. And that flight is coming from the APC and I think APC and Ibom Air. No, APC and United. They are all targeting Southeast. And I know that with the introduction of more airline, these people controlling such price, it will start coming down. Okay. The Ibom Air, they are helping their people. Our people coming back from overseas and all that, they now have to prepare to pay almost 800,000 naira on a to and fro ticket. So with the Enugu Air coming in, things will come down.
So, just a final one, Dr. Nwoye. It has been very interesting speaking with you. Just on the final note, can you just describe the person of Governor Peter Mbah and just tell us what's your next move from now that you're no longer the APC chairman of Enugu State? What is your next move? Just trying to.
We start with my next move. My next move is what I'm doing now, making sure that we connect Enugu State governance with the national, and connects the transformative agenda of Governor Peter Mbah with the dream of our dear president, the renewed hope agenda, and make sure that renewed hope trickles down to us, that Enugu State is not remotely controlled by anyone, so that the next appointment, which is coming soon, we don't have anybody from outside making a submission for Enugu State. That's my move. My next move is here. As far as the Governor Peter Mbah, the man is poised. I feel bad for him because he would tell you he's a very private guy who has not taken a public position, and he has no life. His entire life is groomed on how to make Enugu State, how to make Enugu State better. He goes to work like a civil servant. He goes on blue suits, red tie, and white shirt every day, and wear polished shoes. It is not, party for him. Every day, he works his butt out to make sure that he makes Enugu State a better state. And the result is tremendous. Those of you saying that he's taxing you is not true. By the way, I must say that. Check the tax. They're bringing those of you who are not paying tax, they're bringing you back to the tax column. It's not taxing. There's no new tax. Ask your tax auditor. Ask your accountant. Maybe you were not paying tax before. You are paying tax now. What is wrong with you paying if you own a building? You own a building, you need security, they're giving you security. What is wrong with you paying for the security you're enjoying? What is wrong with paying for the road you are using? What is wrong in paying for the public school you're sending your children and your watch to? It is normal. Nothing comes cheap and nothing comes free. If you've lived free without paying tax before, you are not required to pay tax. Pay your tax and be proud to be a Nigerian. I am proud of Nigerian, I'm proud of Enugu man, and I pay my tax.
Thank you very much, Dr. Nwoye. It has been quite an interesting conversation with Dr. Ben Nwoye, a political colossus and a political dinosaur. Thank you very much for coming to the Catalyst today, the Tomorrow is Here series. I appreciate your stay here, and it's quite significant conversation we have had. Thank you very much once again.
Thank you, Darlington. I don't know if I've made the point of being a dinosaur, but we should get there.